What is going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We've got so much to talk about today. The market is doing really well this week, and I can't wait to show you some of the crazy price increases that are happening this week. Evolving skies to the moon? Question mark. You'll have to wait and see. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about Phantasmal Flames. Phantasmal Flames, I've been very transparent about over the last sort of month or so, basically before it even came out, saying that I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to be buying plenty of Phantasmal Flames. It goes against what a lot of people online are saying. They say it's a rubbish set, it's too easy to pull the Charizard, etc. Me personally, I think I've got a good gauge on things over the last sort of 10 odd years I've been putting away sealed product, and nearly 3 years that we've been running this YouTube channel and making predictions for you each and every week. I just block out the noise, to be honest. A lot of these people that are a vocal minority that are saying that Phantasmal Flames is bad are sort of like an echo chamber all in themselves. They just sort of echo each other's opinion. And then because you're always seeing this on social media, and a lot of these people are just like Instagrammers and influencers, and they don't actually look at the data or really have enough skin in the game to see when sets are actually going to perform well. And we're actually sort of seeing that in the charts now. Not only is Phantasmal Flames continuing to hold over retail price, it's actually increasing in price this week. And you will not see any of these influencers talking about this over the next couple of weeks, because it goes against what they've been saying for the last couple of weeks. It's very easy to pick and choose data points to make yourself look good and to copy what everyone else is saying. But when it actually comes down to it and the data proves you wrong, these people are very silent and they'll just move on to the next thing. I'm a big fan of Phantasmal Flames. To see it increase in price now, not only is it increasing in price, it's getting more expensive than some of the other Scarlet and Violet sets that have been out for a very long time. Then that is a very positive marker that long term this set is going to perform very, very well. And like I said, I'm a big fan of it. We're looking at the data. It's rebounding in price and it's going up like I predicted it would. 232 last week. This week, 243, 249. That 250 from sales today on TCG Player, 250 is more expensive than quite a few Scarlet and Violet boxes. It's more expensive than Paradox, which is getting pretty old right now. It's about the same price as like Journey, Surgeon, that kind of thing, and it's brand new, guys. It's the most recent set that's out. But hey, people will still tell you it's going to MSRP. Me, personally, if they print a lot of it going forward over the next year, I could see it dropping as low as sort of 210, 200. I don't think it's ever going to MSRP, obviously, unless you see one out in the wild. We're talking about market price, sort of secondary market, how much you can pick one up for guaranteed online. Yeah, I just don't see it ever going to MSRP, especially the way things are. A lot of people will say, yeah, but there's some big printing facility coming and there's going to be reprints. These people don't know anything. Okay, yes, Pokemon will be opening up a larger print facility in the US because it needs to, because the demand for the hobby has exploded over the last year. And they have to do that just to meet the demand of new products coming out, just to make sure that they aren't just sold out within the first 10 seconds like they have been over the last year. That's all that is. And don't get me wrong, okay, Pokemon Company will get things wrong and they will overprint sets. That is inevitable. It will happen. I just don't think it's going to happen on anything that's currently out. Okay, I think that the overprinting is going to come probably at the end of 2026, start of 2027, when you get some mid-ish sets, particularly as we roll into the new era after Mega Evolution era. This is going to be a short printed era that's only going to last about a year or so. Once you start moving into the next generation and you get the new base set of the next era, I think that's when you're going to see the big overprinting happen, which happens in pretty much every era. Sun and Moon base was printed into the ground and didn't perform well for years. Sword and Shield base was underprinted, but even that and the sets around it, like Paldea Evolved was $90 a box forever. And now look at where it is as one of the most expensive booster boxes on the Scarlet and Violet era. Regularly selling for right up at that $400 range, and no one wanted it for a long time. Same with Obsidian Flames. Everything in that early era didn't do well. I think Mega Evolution is its own little thing. It's a little sort of special mini era. I don't count it as its own sort of like era in the fact that the base set's going to perform badly and the sets around it are going to perform badly. We can see that they're performing well. They're not sitting for retail. They're not sitting for below retail. I think that when Generation 10 comes, early 2027, that's when you're going to see the big overprinting of mid sets, and you're going to see the $90 booster box again. It's inevitable. It will happen. It's not happening anytime soon. And the people that are telling you that Phantasmal Flames and Mega Evolution are going to those prices, I think are talking absolute air. But yeah, so Phantasmal Flames increasing in price, $250 a box. Last sold eBay US $230. You can still scoop a bargain on this. Like I said, I think worst case scenario, this drops to like $200 over the next 6 months, but it easily could not. Okay, I think it's going to bounce around the sort of 230, 240 mark. We've talked about the floor of Scarlet and Violet being around about 240. I think that that is a good fair price for that. I think if you're willing to put this away for a little while, I think that you'll do well scooping this up for anywhere under 240. And I don't think there's a rush. I think that it's going to be under or about 240 probably for the next few months. But I tell you what, blink and you'll miss it, because there's no guarantees that this is going to get a mass reprint. Okay, there's a lot of people saying that there is, basing that on nothing. Okay, no one knows what's coming reprint wise. I personally think that Pokemon Company is struggling to keep up with new releases, and that's where they're going to focus a lot of their energy into. Last sold eBay UK, $194. Creeping up there in price, guys. Where are these price drops that people were talking about? I bought Phantasmal Flames, multiple of them, booster boxes, weeks ago at that 180 mark. And that 180 mark felt expensive back then, and people were saying, oh, that's stupid, scooping that up for 180. But now it's 194. Okay. Is it going to be over 200 quid a box soon? Probably. I mean, I don't see anything online talking about confirmed reprints coming anytime soon. So, I mean, you make your own mind up on it, guys. But I'm being very transparent. I'm all in on Phantasmal. I'm buying a lot of it. The same people that are telling you not to buy Phantasmal as well were the same people that told you not to buy Destined Rivals when it was 200 a box. Now, I'm not saying Phantasmal's as good as Destined Rivals, but these are the same people that got it wrong with that. And they're the same people that got it wrong with Evolving Skies when it was 600 a box and told you not to buy it because it's already had its run. In fact, it's not the same people, it's different people, because the people that are telling you that weren't around back then. Okay, that was a different group of people that have already disappeared. They already made their bad predictions and they were out when that hype cycle ended. Okay, there are a lot of Instagrammers making little 30-second clips telling you the market's crashing, or Phantasmal's the worst thing around, or don't buy Destined Rivals because it's dropping in price. They know nothing. It's an absolute clown parade of influencers. If you want to follow an influencer and take their advice, great. That's your choice. That's your money. Personally, I'd rather put it with someone who is looking at the data, has a track record of multiple years on YouTube of making accurate predictions each and every week. Anyway, let's move on before we start throwing out names and throwing out shade. But if you want me to dance around in a sports bra on Instagram, you know, and get a load of follows, maybe that's something we'll do next year. We'll see. Comment down below if you want to see that. Mega Evolution then. Mega Evolution is again holding at around about this $250 mark. What are we talking about, guys? Like, where are all these people now that said that the Mega era was going to retail? Like, where are they? They're very quiet right now. Holding for nearly 3 months at this $250 mark, holding there comfortably as well. $250, you can scoop up so many Scarlet and Violet boxes for that price. Last sold 246. There's a couple that went for 200, 246, 246, 244, 245. Holding steady. Like I said, that basement mark of Scarlet and Violet, 240 a box. I've been saying this for weeks. If you could scoop up any set in the Scarlet and Violet era or the Mega Evolution era for $240 or less, and you're willing to hold it, you're going to do well out of it. I'm telling you guys. Last sold. Look at this. You can get deals. Brand new listing tag, so bought out straight away. Nice minty box of Mega Evolution. 210. What are we talking about, guys? This was from this morning. There are deals right now to be had. Look at this. 215, 230, another one, 210. Nice sealed enhanced box here. That one actually looks really nice. That is an absolute steal, guys. There are so many good deals to be had right now if you know what you're talking about. I'm telling you, anything sub $240 for Mega Evolution era or Scarlet and Violet era, you're doing well. You're already in profit. I'm telling you. Like, even if you just hold it for 6 months, I think you're in profit. Ideally, you want to hold it till it's well out of print. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But I think you're in profit even in 6 months. Like, easily, comfortably, if you're getting in at this kind of price, I think you're doing well. I think these prices, people are going to look back on them and be pretty shocked by then. Let's have a look at cheapest in the UK. Let's find last sold. The problem is Mega Evolution Phantasmal Flames pops up when you search for Mega Evolution as well. That's Phantasmal. Just not many being sold in the UK. There we go. Non-enhanced, best offer accepted, 198. Who knows what that's sold for? Let's find an actual sale. Half boxes going for 91 quid. I can't go to page 2. Interesting. Zip through. That's Phantasmal. That's Phantasmal. So much Phantasmal being sold. But Mega Evolution based booster boxes just not being sold that much. There we go. Found one. Enhanced version. 255. And the non-enhanced going for yesterday for 190. If you're wondering why I'm looking at US and UK prices and you're new to the channel, I compare both US and UK prices with a focus on US prices because it's the biggest card market for English Pokemon cards in the world, particularly sealed product. But I also look at UK prices as well because I am from the UK myself and I am a bit of an expert on the UK sealed market. Let's then talk about Destined Rivals. Now, Destined Rivals is a very interesting one as well because there are a lot of people talking about Destined Rivals and saying that you were stupid if you bought in at this point. Oh, look at this. It peaked at $490 or something like that. Yeah, for a week, but it's still well above retail for a fairly recent set. It is regularly trading as one of the, in fact, the most expensive Scarlet and Violet booster box. Gave the game away. It is selling for more than Paldea Evolved this week. It's always in a bit of a neck and neck with Paldea Evolved for the most expensive booster box, and we have a look at that every single week. Destined Rivals has got the crown again this week as the most expensive box. Honestly, guys, if anyone's telling you that if you bought in at $490 on Destined Rivals, that was a bad investment and you're willing to hold that for a couple of years, they are an absolute clown. They have no idea what they're talking about. Yeah, this week you could have got it for, I don't know, $90, $80 less than it was at this absolute peak right here a couple of months ago. But what are the chances that you timed the market so imperfectly that for that 3-day window, you hit it right on the peak? Some people did. Some people did. On TCG Player, 157 booster boxes sold on that day. Honestly, it is the best box in the era. There is no doubt in my mind that this is going to $1,000 plus a box, $2,000 plus a box, given enough time. There's no doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. And a lot of people agree with that. So anyone that is telling you that you're an idiot or you made a bad investment buying in at $490, it's exactly the same as the people that told you that you were stupid buying in at Evolving Skies when it was $400 and that you should have bought in when it was $200 instead. Okay? Yeah, you might have made a little bit of extra money, but it makes no difference in the long haul. Look where Evolving Skies is now, okay? These people, they don't know what they're talking about. You could buy in to Destined Rivals Anywhere under $600, okay? Way above market, way above all-time high, and I still think you more than double your money in a couple of years, okay? So anyone telling you that kind of thing, absolute nonsense. Destined Rivals is one of the best investments out there. It's one of the best boxes. It's going to be one of the best performing boxes of the last sort of 2-3 eras over the next 5 years. Okay, I think that it's going to pull some serious numbers and it's going to shock a lot of people. I'd have no problems buying into Destined Rivals for anywhere around $500. So the fact that you can scoop it up now for that $400 range, I'm telling you, it's still a good buy. And look, it's holding at this $400 range as well. Look, 406, 406, 409, 406, 406. Like, what are we talking about? It's the most expensive Scarlet and Violet booster box in the era. It's one of the newest, bar the holiday set, White Flare Black Bolt. And it's the most expensive. It's the most iconic. It's best in class, guys. It's going to perform really, really well. Last sold, look at this, eBay US, $420 for a sealed copy of Destined Rivals. Absolutely insane numbers when you consider how young it is as a set and how early it is into its print cycle. But I really don't see mass booster box reprints of it. And anyone who says that there will be is just pulling that out of the air. Ancillary products, you know, you might get some extra tins or you might get some extra ETBs or something. I still don't think that's really going to happen. Okay, Destined Rivals was massively underprinted for what it should have been, for how popular a set it was. And time's moving on, guys. Like, yeah, it's a fairly new set in the grand scheme of things, but we've already got Ascended Heroes about to come out. We've just had the announcement of Perfect Order. They're moving on. Okay, there's not going to be these big mass reprints. And even when there is, I remember this with Evolving Skies. They reprinted Evolving Skies really late into its product print cycle. Like right at around that 2-year mark, they released a load of booster boxes. And I tried to get some. And I tell you what, they were gone like that. Instantly gone. Because the market was already up there at $400, $500, that kind of range. So even when they do a big reprint of booster boxes, all it did is it just kept the secondary market price. It just went flat for like 2 weeks and then continued to shoot up. That's where I see Destined Rivals. I don't think it's going to drop anytime soon. And I think it's going to push up all-time highs, not just in a couple of years. I think Destined Rivals is going to push all-time highs in the next 6 months. In the next 6 months, I think you're going to see the $500 Destined Rivals box, and possibly beyond. Now, I'm putting my neck on the line saying that, but I'm very confident in saying that as well. There are people out there that are saying that you won't be in profit in Destined Rivals if you buy now for another 3 years. I think that's absolute nonsense. I think in 3 years' time, this could be a $1,500 box. I really do think that. Let's move on though. Last sold, eBay UK, 304, 314, right up there about the averages. Okay, you can talk about, oh, it hit an all-time high of 400 quid on one particular day in November or some nonsense like that. Okay, that's being selective with the data. When we look at what's actually going on with the UK market, you could scoop these up for 280 a couple of months ago. It's continuing to climb up in price. Yes, it had one little spike 6 months ago. Who cares about that? We're talking about where the market value is, where the average prices are, what people are willing to pay, and it's creeping up in price. It's going to push all-time highs in the next 6 months, I'm telling you. Journey Together. Journey Together booster box. Can anyone tell that I got a bit riled up by some Instagram influencers this week? I got some DMs by some absolute clowns talking some nonsense. I won't throw any shade, but maybe they should stick to dancing around Instagram in sports bras and stuff like that. Let's move on then. Journey Together, 245. last week. We were saying that if we're putting the bench at Scarlet and Violet at the $240 mark, which I think is fair. We were saying sets like Journey Together and Surgeon, I put them a little bit above average. So they should be sat closer to around about that 250, 260, that kind of range. And that's what we're seeing exactly play out with Journey Together right now. It's sitting a little bit over sets like Paradox Rift, and I think it's a fair price for it right now. Last week it was going for 245. Now it's going for 254. Like I said, bang in the middle of that 250, 260. If we're putting the floor at 240, it deserves to be a little bit higher than that because it is a slightly better, slightly more desirable set than the real like bottom of the bucket sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. Last sold, 240. I think that anything around that 240 mark for anything sealed Scarlet and Violet is a good price right now. Last sold eBay UK. 172. New listing tag as well, so bought out straight away, non-enhanced version. Another one going with no photos on an auction for 166 as well. These were from yesterday. I think that that's a really good price point to buy into it. Anything sub 180 on Journey in the UK, I think is a really good price, be it enhanced or not. Surgeon Sparks. Surgeon Sparks is a really interesting one right now because there's been a bit of news floating around the Instagram rumor mill this week about Surgeon Sparks being out of print for booster boxes. Not for sleeve booster packs or ancillary or tins or whatever. For booster boxes specifically. Now, I can't confirm or deny this. I can only bring to you what I know as a rumor. I've seen some screenshots floating around from UK distributors that, and this may just be an error at the distributor or not. It may be a coincidence, or maybe they know something that we don't know. And on their buy list, for the main EU distributor, they put Surgeon Sparks as out of print on their list. Specifically the booster boxes. Now that's really interesting. Surgeon Sparks is well within its print window. Well within its print window for a reprint. It's in that sort of later block of Scarlet and Violet as well. It's not the ones that are due to go out of print over the next couple of months. Surgeon Sparks has got over a year left in print. But this is what I'm saying, guys. There's potential for that to be true. There is potential for them to be moving on. I mean, let's think of them as a company as a whole, okay? Why would they prioritize doing a big reprint of Surgeon Sparks? It doesn't really make sense for them to do it. Now, I'm not saying this is true. And all I can do is bring the rumors to you as I hear them. But Surgeon Sparks going out of print really early does actually make a lot of sense because it's not the most desirable set. And it would make sense if they just started moving on and focusing on other things. Perhaps more sort of your destined rivals that are more sort of desirable, that never had the level of printing that they needed. Or just a focus on all the new stuff. More Mega Evolution, more Phantasmal, more, well, just making sure they have Ascended Heroes ready on release and enough numbers, perfect order. I feel like Pokemon Company as a whole, if they're smart about things, will divert the majority of their printing resources to the new stuff, to the stuff that hasn't come out yet, to make sure there's enough product around for everyone, particularly the kids, and affordable product as well. It doesn't make sense for them to put a lot of their capacity into these older Scarlet and Violet sets. It just doesn't make sense to me. I could see them doing a small reprint of Surgeon Sparks, but I don't see them doing a big reprint of it. And I tell you what, if they don't, Surgeon's already holding over the bench, and it's slowly increasing in price. Let's have a look at numbers. Look, 251 last week. This week, 260, 270, 265. It's pushing up. It's already trying to climb. And there's been plenty of it available out on the market. You know, it's been one of the most stocked booster boxes at those vending machines. So it's very interesting that it's starting to pull ahead of other things in Scarlet and Violet now. Like I said, if we've got that $240 base, it's up there at that $260 last sold. But there's a sale here for $270 as well. Give it another 6 months, if there is no Surgeon Sparks reprint, and that is it for it, it could perform really well over the next couple of years. It could be a good opportunity to buy in now. Like I said, if you could scoop anything for below 240, Scarlet and Violet, I think you're doing really good. And look at this. Last sold, eBay US, yesterday. 230, 225. That's really good buy-in. Even if they reprint it, 225 is a really cheap price for Surgeon. That makes it one of the cheapest boxes in the era. And I think that's a good opportunity to move into it right now before prices start to go up in price. Last sold eBay UK, 190. Looks cheap, guys. It looks really cheap. Let's move on then. 151 Elite Trainer Box. When it dipped below 400, we said it wasn't justified. It's on sale. We screamed at people to buy it at 350. Now it's recovering back up to that $400 range. The average price chart hasn't caught up yet, but the average price chart is slowly increasing. Last week on the averages, it was 376. This week, look at this, multiple sales, 400. We said it was going back to that 400. 400 was at that mark that it was sitting at a nice time. We called this weeks ago when it was 350 that it is a $400 box all day long. I don't think they're making any more 151 Elite Trainer boxes. I think it's done. I still think even buying in at its peak at this $400 mark is gonna perform really well. Could see $1,000 booster box. $1,000 Elite Trainer box for 151 within the next year. Could see it happen. Realistically, I think it will probably take a little bit longer than a year. I could see it go into like, let's see, 700 a box end of this year. And then into next year, start pushing up, 800, 1,000. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think within a 2-year window, it could go to $1,000 a box. We'll have to see. We'll see if I'm right. I'm out there making those predictions each and every week. Last sold, eBay US. Look at this, bang on the nose, $400. Exactly what we said it would return to. A couple of sales from yesterday, 370, 375. You can still get in a little bit cheaper. Look at this. Here's one that's sold for 480. That's not Pokemon Center exclusive. That's right up there, all-time high. Sale from yesterday. What are we talking about here, guys? No-brainer, really is. Last sold, eBay UK, 291 on an auction. Let's move on then to Paradox Rift. Talking about the bottom of the bucket sets. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's become a meme on the channel that I insult Paradox Rift. I don't hate it as a set. I just think it's terrible. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a fine set. It's just, it deserves to be where it is in price, is all I'm saying. It will perform fine over time, and it is one of the cheapest boxes in the era. It is holding at around about this 240 mark, the benchmark of the era, like we said. Last sale, actually 250, but then multiple sales over the last few days around about that 240 mark. Whenever market is set at something like 240, you'll always get people dumping it for cheaper on eBay. On eBay, last sold 230. I'm telling you guys, it's a good opportunity to move into Paradox Rift now. That is a good buy. Another one going on auction, 234. It's a good buy, Paradox Rift. And that's coming from me, someone who doesn't like Paradox Rift. Anything sub 240 is a good deal. It really is. Last sold, eBay UK. Look at this, 162, 161, best offer accepted. 150, no photo from yesterday. This is cheap, guys. A little bit over retail for one of the older sets in the Scarlet and Violet era. A lot of people like Paradox as well. Personally, I think that your money's suited better elsewhere. I'd rather pick up a Surgeon for a little bit more money. But Paradox Rift, a lot of people like it. It's super cheap in the US and in the UK. I think that it's a no-brainer, and you will almost be guaranteed to make money on that. It's going to be a creeper set. You're not going to get rich overnight on it, but I could see it easily doubling up in price over the next few years. Going to, yeah, I could see it going to $500 a box. It's going to take multiple years for it to get there. It might be 3 years, it might be 4 years, but I could see it settling nicely at that $500 mark in the next couple of years. If you put that away in the back of a closet, I think you do all right. Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces is a little bit overvalued, in my opinion, at the moment, even though I like it as a set. I just think it's a little bit overvalued. It's climbing up in price as well. Last week it was at 255. I think it should be sat about where Paradox is at the moment. I think it should be in that 240, 250 range. This week, sort of 274. Multiple sales for 274 as well. I think that's a little bit dear. Especially when like Surging and Journey are cheaper. Yeah, I think it's a little bit overpriced. I think it's got some room to fall. I think a fair price for Temporal is about 245, 250 at the moment. It will get to this 275 range given enough time. I think it's just there a little bit too early. I'd be cautious about buying into Temporal now, unless you really like the set and you are willing to put it away for multiple years. I think you've missed the boat on the good deals on Temporal. Temporal sat for a long time as the cheapest set. A long time. It was below retail. That was the time to buy into Temporal. Now I don't think so much. I'd actually rather, for that price point, buy into Paradox Rift and save yourself sort of 10%. And that's coming from me, someone who is not a big fan of Temporal. Look at that case going for, look, 1300, and another case going for 1251. 1251 seems cheap. How much is that a box? Let's calculate that out. I'm curious. 1251 divided by 6. 208 a box. See, that's what I'm saying, guys. When you can get a case for 208 each, why pay 270 a box? It just seems a bit expensive. Do you know what I mean? And this is why case premiums are nonsense as well. This is what it should be. It should be cheaper on the case. Look at that. 207 is 208 a box is actually a really good deal. Whoever scooped that up as a case. Interesting. Let's move on though. We're getting sidetracked. Last sold eBay UK 174. Again, I'd rather. Well, it's only £10 cheaper, the Paradox. Maybe I would buy the Tempora for 174. But then, to be honest, I'd rather chuck in an extra chunk of money if I had it, like an extra 100 quid, and get myself something else, like something newer, maybe some more Phantasmal, or even just like maybe like a Destined ETB or something like that for that kind of price point. But hey, that's just me. Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown booster box. We don't talk about Stellar Crown that much on this channel. It is one of those sleeper sets that goes under the radar quite a lot. But I've got to talk about it because it's increasing in price, and we've got to talk about things increasing in price. It had this pretty big fall down from the $280 range, and it's kind of creeping back up again. It dipped below sort of 250, 247 around about Christmas time, which was a little bit cheap for it. Last sold 240, but then there's also sales for like 261, 259, and it's got room to go back to its all-time high and start pushing $300. It really does. It's a bit of a sleeper set. It's starting to increase in price a little bit, correcting up a little bit, which is positive after such a big decline in price. Keep an eye on Stellar. Stellar is like the thinking man's box, as I like to call it. It's one that you won't hear any Instagram influencers talking about. It's a sleeper set, and sometimes sleeper sets perform really well over time. I hold quite a bit of Stellar Crown, but I bought in sub-retail for it. So I'm quite happy to hold it. I don't mind that in the short term it's coming down in price because I'm holding it multiple years until it's well out of print. So there you go. Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames is another set we don't talk about too much on the channel. We don't do a focus on it every week. I really like Obsidian Flames. I've liked it since day one. Dropped down to like $90 a box when I bought into a lot of it. It was like $90, $95 a box. I bought loads of it. Again, all the influencers, all the other Pokemon investors hated it on release. No one would touch it with a barge pole. It was sat around. It was fire sold. It was sat on shelves. As soon as it got rare, as soon as the ETB started going up in price, the Charmander started going up in price, all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, it's the best buy ever. When it started shooting up here last year, People started FOMOing in. It went to like 330 a box. All of a sudden, all those influencers that told you it was rubbish the year before. Oh, I've always said it was a good set. It was, yeah, it was a brilliant set. No, they didn't. Everyone said it was rubbish. I was one of the few people who said it was good. Go back through the videos if you really want. It's all there. And that's the nice thing about YouTube and social media. It's all documented, which is what I love. It's very easy to say in hindsight, oh, this was a great set. I've always told people that it was going to pop off. It's very hard to do what I do each and every week and make these predictions that come true. Each and every time they're coming true, guys. Obsidian Flames, I think it's a great set. I think that given even more time, it's going to perform even well. I think people are shocked it's even this price, you know, at that $300 range. And it's holding at $300 as well. Last sales, 277, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, 300. If you could scoop this up under $300 and put it away for a couple of years, I think you'd do well. Let's then talk about Paldea Evolved. We briefly talked about it when we were talking about Destined Rivals, because it's always neck and neck in the prices for most expensive Scarlet and Violet box. It will go out of print a lot sooner than Destined Rivals. Technically, on paper, it will go out of print beforehand. However, just because it goes out of print window or a set is in print window, rather, doesn't mean it's going to get printed. There's no guarantees on anything. Newsflash, Destined Rivals might be out of print already. Then what's going to happen to the price? You see, once you start looking at things that way, you start to look at sets very differently. There's no guarantee there will be any more Destined Rivals. It is very unlikely that there will be any more Paldea Evolved. Let's have a look at prices. It obviously peaked at around about, God, it was pushing $500 back in September. Corrected back down around Christmas when a lot of sets cooled off, starting to increase up in price. And what are we noticing, guys? We've gone through a lot of tabs today. We've gone through a lot of the Scarlet and Violet era now. What are we noticing with prices going on this week? And I'll tell you, I'll summarize for you. They are either recovering positions after a cool off over Christmas, like we called they would, that the cool off wouldn't last that long, and going into the new year, things will start to recover. I'm calling it now. Hype cycle's not over. It's just taking a break. I think 2026 is going to be another insane year for sealed products. I don't see it cooling off. I really don't. I think that a lot of these sets are going to push all-time highs this year. And I think that if you've got the confidence and the patience and almost, what's the word? If you've got the risk tolerance to buy in now, right when everything's cooled off, and you've got the confidence that this is going to be a good year, like I'm calling now, and going against all these other idiot influencers, I'm telling you, you'd do well. If you've got the confidence to move in now on sealed product, you've got hands of steel. And that's what you need. You need patience. You need those diamond hands, not folding your hand in poker. Paldea recovering up in price, pushing back over $400. I think that it's going to overtake Destined Rivals in the short term. I think that both sets are going to be contesting $500 over the next 6 months. I don't think any of them are getting reprinted over the next 6 months. We'll have to wait and see. That's just based on nothing. That is just based on an assumption, just like those people that say that it's going to get reprinted. Just as much likelihood as there is that it's going to get reprinted, it's also not going to get reprinted. Okay. Paldea Evolved, 409. Last week it was averaging, let's see, $3.95. So it's up, what? Nearly $15, $16, something like that. What's $16? $16 is like 3.5%. It's recovering. Like I said, the market as a whole, all I'm seeing this week is prices either going up or holding at way over retail for new sets. Holding or going up is positive to me in the market. But hey, I'm sure you'll still see plenty of crash videos this week from all those channels. Last sold, eBay US. Look at this, 369 is such a bargain when it's regularly going for $400. Let's find another sale down below. Look at this, 410 on an auction from 2 days ago. The only reason why it lost its crown this week is because of this crazy new listing tag, bought out straight away, 370. Someone knew their prices. They knew anything under $400 is a good deal for Powder Evolved. They scooped that up nice and quick. Let's move on. Last sold, eBay UK, 340 quid. Right up there at all-time highs, guys. Right up there. Within striking range of it. Let's have a look then at Paldean Fates. Paldean Fates had a drop down in price with the winter cool off. I said it was completely unjustified. Now you've seen it almost completely recovered. The average price chart shows that it's not quite there yet, but the last sold show that it actually is. Last week it was averaging 263. Last sales 273. Look at this, 300, 298, 295. It's right up there at 300. Where's its peak? Its peak was 296. Sale yesterday, 298. All-time high. I said that it was on sale and it shouldn't have been. Right here. You could have got it for $70 discount. Even at $300, I still think it's an absolute steal. I think this box is going to be like 151 and it's going to push $500 real soon. Like real soon this year. By summer, I think that it's going to be at least pushing 400 and I think that 151 will be pushing 500. I really do believe that. I don't think they're going to make any more of it. Bubble Mew is an absolute monster as well. People really underestimate that Bubble Mew card. $1,500 in a PSA 10 right now. In fact, I think it's $1,600 and it's selling regularly for that. I think that card's going to continue to increase in price as well. The Charizard is increasing in price as well. That's one of my favourite cards, that Dark Charizard card from Paldean Fates. I've said it quite a lot on this channel. Two of the best cards in the era, in my opinion. Both increasing in price. The only way you can get them is through the ETB or the booster bundles. You might get a reprint of the booster bundles, but I don't think you're going to get any more of the ETBs. I think the ETB was massively underprinted as well for how popular this set is. And it displays really well. Like, it's one of the best looking ETBs of the era. And what can I say? I think that Paldean Fates is going to the moon. I really do. And I've thought that since day one. That's why I hold a lot of it. Last sold, eBay US. Look at this, $375. That will be $300 in a week or two. I almost guarantee it. Last sold, eBay UK, $180. I think anything sub 200 quid in the UK, as long as you're putting that away, you'll do fine. You got to remember as well, right? That's cheaper than a Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is pushing over 200 quid. I like Crown Zenith as well, but I don't know. I think that Paldean Fates is going to follow in the footsteps of 151 and start pushing $400 real soon. Like real soon this year. Let's move on then to the Sword and Shield era. The King of the Jungle, Mr. Evolving Skies himself. You have to start with Mr. Evolving Skies. He's the best in class. And we're seeing a rebound up in price, which is really positive. Quite a few sales over the last week on TCG Player. Regular sales, look at this, right up at this, between 2.4 and 2.5k. 2.4, 2.3, 2.5, 2.5, 2.4, 2.4. Market was at about 2.3 last couple of weeks. Let's have a look at eBay though. Look at this. Here it is. All-time high. Yes, it's an international import, but what does that say on our screen, guys? What did we predict over the entire 2025? Over the entire 25, right back from January, we called for at least one box to hit $3,000 US by Christmas time. Now, it has hit that now. We have a $3,000 box sold this morning on eBay US. How far off was I on my estimate? It is now the 10th of January. So I'm what? 2 weeks off from a prediction that I made over 12 months ago. We said we'd see a $3,000 Evolving Skies box. I didn't say market would be 3K. I said we would see at least one $3,000 box. Yes, it is an international import, but it's here, guys. Someone in the US this morning bought a nice sealed minty copy of Evolving Skies for all-time high. Evolving Skies, $3,000. Absolutely crazy. So good. What more can I say? The king is back. It is the GOAT set. When it dropped down to 2,300, 2,100, that kind of thing, I told you guys, it's on sale. It will go back. Evolving Skies is the closest thing to gold that there is as a commodity. It's limited. There ain't a huge amount of them on the market. The supply is going down because some people are opening them, which I think is crazy. But they are. I sold one last year, and like, I messaged the people on eBay, and I was just like, yo, you know, you got nothing to worry about. Here's lots of photos. I'm a Pokemon sealed YouTuber. Box is legit. I've had it since it was like 150 quid. You know, it's absolutely mint. The wrapper, I can give you more photos of it. They were just like, yeah, cool. Thanks, we appreciate it. But yeah, we don't really care. We're opening it when it comes. I'm like, oh my God, what do you mean you're opening it? To me, that just seemed crazy. I said, you know, good luck. Please don't tell me if you pull a Moonbreon, because I don't want to know. That's one of the main things that I have with sealed product. When I sell sealed product and I know that the seller's going to open it, particularly if it's a friend or something, or I'm selling it to an LCS, I don't want to know what you pulled out of it. I don't want to know if I've been holding a Moonbreon in my cupboard for the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I don't want to know, because that would just make me feel awful that I didn't rip it myself. In my head, I like to think that every sealed product I've given away had no hits in it. It just makes you feel better about it. But hey, story time with PokePond. We're going off on a tangent. But yeah, $3,000. That is way over market. So market is about 2.5, around about that range. If we look at other last sales, it's about more in line with that. There you go. There's another one going for yesterday for 2.5, one going for 2.4, and then another one going yesterday for 2.2. So around about 2.5 is fair, flat market rate that you can get a box. But hey, someone imported one for 3K. Just saying, that's last sold as well. That is all-time high. I've been talking a lot this episode about people on Instagram making silly predictions as well. I heard one just a couple of days ago, and I had to put a comment on it, where they said that if you'd have bought Evolving Skies at the peak, then you were stupid. We're pushing all-time highs again, guys. What do you think is going to happen with 2026? I've said a long time that this is going over 5K a box, given enough time. Will it hit it this year? I don't know. I'm always surprised by Evolving Skies. It always outperforms all expectations. It is the GOAT set. If you've got a serious amount of money to park, then Evolving Skies is the place to put it. And like, what people don't realize about sealed collecting and investing as well is there is big money coming. Okay, there are people with a lot of money, a lot of bankroll, that don't even flutter an eyelid at dropping 100K into an investment. As collectibles become more and more popular as investments, which they inevitably will, because they can't ignore the price gains, the percentage gains on these. It's insane. And it's almost guaranteed as well. It keeps happening time and time and time again. These sets with sealed booster boxes just go up and up and up and up in value. Okay. That will not be ignored. That will not be ignored by people who have no interest in Pokemon at all and have lots of disposable income. Why would they have 100 grand, £1 million, put in a high interest bank account and be getting 4%, 5%, 6% a year when Evolving Skies is doing 10% a week, 20% a week? And yeah, You might say, oh, it's had its run. That's what it did. It will go back to that. And the reason why is because Evolving Skies is like gold. It is the safest place to park a large amount of money. If you decide, put yourself in a rich person's shoes right now. Okay. If you decide to put 50 grand, 50,000 US, 50,000 pounds, whatever it is, 50 bands into Pokemon Sealed as an investment going forward, are you going to buy cases and cases and cases and cases of Paradox Rift? No. Or are you going to buy 3 cases of Evolving Skies? You're going to buy 3 cases of Evolving Skies. And I'm telling you, the big money that's coming into Pokemon Sealed, and I'm talking about over the next 5 years, 10 years, they will be pumping money into Evolving Skies, Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolution, the best in class sets of the modern era. I'm telling you, they will. And Evolving Skies is going to the moon. It really, really is. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Let's move on. 3,000 is wild. I'm so happy to see it. And it's so crazy that I said by Christmas time, and then literally 2 weeks later, we get a $3,000 box. And I've been saying that for years, that it will go by 2025 Christmas time. It will go to 3K. It's come true. I didn't see anyone else making that call. Last sold in the UK, 2,148. Right up there at all-time highs as well. And I tell you what, these prices are going to start to explode fast, because people who own them, like me, like some of you viewers there that are into it for cheap, we ain't selling ours anytime soon. And these people that are buying them for 2.1, they're taking them off of the market. They're not going to buy it for 2.1 and sell it the next day and relist it for 2.3, 2.4. No, they're probably going to hold that for another 2 years. That's another box off the market for another couple of years. And I tell you what, there aren't as many of these put away as you think there are. Compared to some of the more modern sets, like Destined Rivals, Prismatic, stuff like that, Evolving Skies sealed booster boxes are going to get rare as anything over the next 5 years. And that is just going to make the price go insane. It really is. Evolving Skies is the GOAT set. I've been saying it for a very long time. Really happy to see it pushing all-time highs. And I just want to say as well, as I'm about to move on to some of the other big boys in the Sword and Shield era, we called it. We called it at the start of the winter period that the smart money is to move into Sword and Shield. All of that is rebounding now and pushing all-time highs. Fusion Strike, same thing, rebounding in price. The average price chart is lagging behind. Might not look like it's going up that much, but it's going up a bit. Look at this, Fusion Strike. Last week, $848. Last sold, $1,000. What are we talking about, guys? Fusion Strike's already back at $1,000 a box. Last sold, eBay US, new listing tag, bought out straight away, $850 from yesterday. Sale before that, $1,000. Buy it now. Fusion's back up at 1,000. Evolving Skies pushing all-time highs. Lost Origin is starting to pump. We'll go back into that in a minute. Last sold, eBay UK, $720. Right up there at all-time highs, guys. And these are going to explode over the next year. Anyone telling you hype cycle's done? I'm not so sure, guys. I think 2026 is going to be a crazy year. Yeah, some of the new sets coming out, like Perfect Order, I don't think it's going to perform amazing from what I've seen. Once I see the set list, I might change my mind. No one knows yet, but first impression from seeing what's on the box, I don't think it's going to perform that great. But the sets that are already out, your Scarlet and Violet, your MEO1, your MEO2, your Sword and Shield, I think we're going to see a crazy year going ahead. Mark my words. I'm first here to call it. I don't mind going against the grain of what other people say. I'm going to tell you how I see it and how I see the market. Lost Origin, recovering up in price. Last week, $679. This week, last sold, $750. $760. $770. Telling you guys, I told you these were cheap a couple of weeks ago. Lost Origin is going to push 1,000 a box soon as well within the next 6 months. Fusion's going to start pushing all-time highs as well. 1200, 1300. I can't wait to see it happen. We'll be here each and every week giving you the data. We can follow it together. Even if you're not invested in this stuff, guys, invest in me saying it. Be part of the PokePond team. Do you know what I mean? The people that are going against the grain. Okay, I'm calling it now. I'm calling Lost Origin over 1,000 a box by the end of summer. It might be one sale, it might be two sale. I'm not saying market's going to be that, but you're going to see $1,000 box of Lost Origin in 2026. I'm very confident of that. Last sold, eBay US, 710. I still think it's cheap. If Fusion's at 1,000 now, I think that Lost Origin should be 800 plus. Easy. Easy. And I think it will go there over the next few months. Last sold, eBay UK. Look at this, 750 quid for Lost Origin. Madness, guys. I told you Sword and Shield was going to have its day at the start of January, and it's happening. It's going to have a really good year. Brilliant Stars pushing up all-time highs again. It's recovered. When it had this dip, I said it was crazy. I was shocked that it went below 500. Then it went back to 500. I said it's not going to dip below 500 again. That's it. It's going to have a run. It's having a run. It's exactly as we called it. Last week, 549 on the averages. This week, 580, 584, 584, 570, 584, 584, pushing 600, 584. It's all-time highs. Brilliant Stars, guys. What are we talking about? Last sold, 550, eBay US, eBay UK, 480. Right up there at all-time highs for Brilliant Stars. Fantastic to see. Silver Tempest, recovering up in price again. Anyone who tells you that the market's crashing is talking absolute nonsense, I'm telling you. Last week, 427. This week, 470. 495. These are sales in the last couple of days, guys. Look at this. Peak of Silver Tempest on the averages, 490. Sale yesterday, 495. Silver Tempest at an all-time high. Last sold, eBay US, 480. And then look at this. Someone scooped one yesterday for 420. Look at the swing in price on that. $60 swing. That's like, let's calculate that out. $60 swing between two sales yesterday on Silver Tempest. Between people who are ready to move and people who aren't ready to move. That's a 14% swing between two buy it nows yesterday. I'm telling you guys, the market's starting to move, but all the other channels, all the other influencers are telling you that it's not. So if you're part of this channel and you know your prices each and every week, you can move before anyone else realizes, and you can start scooping these boxes for 15%, 20% under where the market really is. And where the market will be. We could see Silver Tempest over $500 a box over the next week or so. Who would have predicted that when everything started cooling? Look, when everything started cooling off in December, we dropped right back down to an average of 418. We dropped nearly $100 on the average. And everyone said, oh, it's over. I'm not investing in Sword and Shield, all of that nonsense. Guys, what are we talking about? Meanwhile, you've got people on Instagram telling you to buy Black Bolt ETBs. Why? Why would you do a stupid thing like that? Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars, Destined Rivals, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike. The best in class, guys. The best in class. They're going to have an amazing year. Hype Cycle's back on. Last sold, eBay UK. 475. Look at this. The ETBs now. These were sat way below retail. No one wanted these for the longest time. I scooped a load of these for 35 quid. And you might think, oh yeah, but you did that back at release. No. Towards the end of the Sword and Shield era, I was buying these for 35, 40 quid, way below retail, just a year ago. They're more than doubled up now because I knew Silver Tempest was a great set. And these ETBs, no one wanted them because they were everywhere. Look at this, 90 quid. 93 quid. Unfortunately, a lot of my Sword and Shield ETBs I'm going to have to sell over the next couple of weeks because I'm moving house soon. So I've got to get rid of the bulkier ETB items. I'm keeping all the booster boxes and all the good stuff, you know, the real best in class stuff. But stuff like my Silver Tempest ETBs, my Brilliant Stars ETBs, stuff like that, I would really love to keep them, but I'm going to have to sell them, even though I know that they're going to perform really well over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. I'd love to keep them, but I just can't. I need to save on space, ready for the move. Going to be moving into a bigger place, going to be moving into a house. Looking forward to that. That's probably going to be happening in the summer sometime. But just to make the move easier, I'm going to be ditching a lot of my ETBs. It's unfortunate, but it's so great to see them go up in price. I'll happily take a little bit of profit, but I'm sad I can't keep them for longer. However, if I get rid of a load of ETBs, it does make more room for booster boxes. So don't think that that money is going out of the market. Any money that I'll make from selling sealed ETBs, I will put back into booster boxes or slabs or stuff like that. So I'll be sad to see them go because they are very much collection pieces, but at the same time, I'll be happy to welcome in some expensive booster boxes and stuff. For example, I might sell all of my ETBs. If it's enough money, I might buy another Evolving Skies booster box. There you go. And then that doesn't seem like a bad play, does it? Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith is continuing to pump up in price, going back up to all-time highs. Last week, 218. This week, 225. 237 is the highest I've seen it go for. I think it's just going to continue to climb. Crown Zenith is such a great investment. Again, I'm probably going to have to let my Crown Zenith boxes go, but I bought into them for under $100. I'd love to keep them because they're a fantastic investment, but we'll roll the money into some smaller products and booster boxes because I do have to be very space conscious going forward. Last sold 254 on an import. Prices are all over the place. Look at this, 209, 200, 220. You could get a really good deal here. Anything sub 220 is a really good buy on Crown Zenith. And I think it's just going to continue to climb. Last sold eBay UK, 194, 194. Nothing to talk about really. So let's finish off the episode. It's been an interesting episode. I've gone on a bit of ranting, as I sometimes do, and we've had a little bit of a story time. I want to talk at the end here. I like to talk about something different just to clear the air at the end of the episode. I want to talk about sealed loose booster packs because I see them as the lowest form of sealed product, and a lot of people do as well, for multiple reasons that I won't go into massive detail for, other than the fact of, you know, people are more cautious buying them, they're more easily tampered with, they're more easily resealed, there's less market for people buying them, particularly a single one, blah de blah. Okay, we've gone through all the negatives. But they are still a viable way to invest. And the reason why is I want to give this an example. I did my usual thing at the end of the episode and I went through and I just searched Pokemon sold new items. And that usually gives you all the sealed stuff that's sold over the last couple of days. This morning, I saw this Unbroken Bonds booster pack, loose, sell, imported from the UK to the US for $80, which is about 60 quid. Now, I pulled up on my phone a list. I have lots of lists on my phone of everything that I've ever bought sealed. I went through a phase about, let's see, 4 years ago, something like that, 5 years ago, where I would stalk all of the auctions for loose booster packs and I would just buy anything that looked cheap. Didn't matter which set it was from. If it was selling at around about that £4, $5 to £8, $10 range, any set, I would put in an offer for what I thought fair market price would be, because I thought to myself at that time, I didn't have a lot of money to buy sealed product, and I used to have long bus journeys to work. And I just enjoyed the thrill and the hunt of scooping up loose booster packs for my sealed collection for a reasonable price and to try and get a deal. And where I didn't have a lot of money to spend, that was like a fun game to me. And I felt like I was regularly buying stuff rather than saving up all my money all month and then buying like, what, one ETB or something. Or I couldn't even afford a booster box back then at times. I'm talking about like each and every month. Obviously, some months I would be able to afford it and I'd save up. But when I was very, very low income, I bought a lot of loose packs. Now, I've gone through my list because Unbroken Bonds was one of those packs at the time that I used to quite regularly buy when I was doing that and getting all the auctions as they were ending. Now, I've looked back through my notes and I was buying Unbroken Bonds booster packs back then for £6 each on auctions. And there were loads of them. I've sold a few to a local LCS recently and got a really good price, and I was quite shocked by the price I got for them. But yeah, I definitely went through a phase. I'm not saying I would do it again now, because now I can afford the bigger sealed products, and they are the lowest form of sealed product. You're more likely to have them tampered with, blah, 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 blah. But I did well out of that. That's nearly a 10x in price on something that I bought a few years ago. And it was just nice that it wasn't much to spend and it satisfied that need of buying product, is what I'm talking about. Anyway, bit of story time with PokePond. I probably would buy loose booster packs again, actually. I think they get a really bad reputation because, yes, you will have less sellers, but they do sell on eBay. In fact, completely unplanned, let's just have a look at booster pack Pokemon and go on to last sold eBay US. So we'll do condition new. And let's just have a look at what's selling. So obviously you've got boxes, you've got 52 Korean packs. Okay, Surgeon Sparks, sleeved packs. Now, from an investment standpoint of view, sleeve packs are always better. I love sleeve packs. I have no issues buying and selling those. You also have blisters and stuff like that. But what I'm interested in is just like loose packs, because it's been a very long time since I bought these. Look at this, one loose pack of Brilliant Stars imported from the UK for $11. You could scoop up these packs easily back then for like $3-4, as many as you liked. No one wanted loose Brilliant Stars packs. And yeah, it will be harder to sell on the long term. And yeah, you will make more money if you buy a bundle or an ETB or something like that. But if you really want to have some fun and increase your small seal collection by not spending much money, you get the satisfaction of buying lots of things. Loose packs are fun, you know, and I've done really well over them over the years. And what's nice about them as well is you put them away in like storage and you really do forget about them. You won't forget about a booster box or an ETB. But loose packs, honestly, I've got bags and bags and bags of loose packs that I bought back from years ago. And they're all creeping up there in price. And I could easily go to my local card store and sell those loose packs for 80% of sealed value. It's not even hard to sell them. So just something I wanted to talk about, because that's another thing you see these influencers talking about in their comments, that you should never buy loose packs. I'm going against that, Crane. Yeah, they are the lowest form of sealed product, but also if you're buying stuff when it's like in print, so if you're buying like a Phantasmal Flames loose pack now, the chances of that being counterfeited for like $5, $6 are so slim. Yes, if you want to buy an Evolving Skies loose pack now, there's a higher chance that it's counterfeited, because it's worth their money to counterfeit it, because that pack is worth what, $40, something like that, $30-40. But no one's counterfeiting Phantasmal Flames loose packs at $5, $6 a pack. How much even is a loose pack now? I don't even want to end the episode now. We're going down a rabbit hole. Phantasmal Flames booster pack. Let's just see. Oh, I did Phantom Forces. Whoops. Phantasmal Flames. See, look, it doesn't even come up. Like, everyone's looking at booster boxes and stuff like that. Flames booster pack. I want to see what these are going for. I'm really interested. Phantasmal Flames booster pack. It's like... There's a Wade one for $16. How ridiculous. Don't buy Wade modern packs, guys. Okay, $10 for a sleeved one. That's a little bit steep. $9 for a sleeve. Okay, 2 for $13. So, $13.20. $13.20 divided by 2 plus a bit of postage. So about $6. See, that's about what I was paying for loose packs back in the day when I used to do it. Hold on to that for a long time. Obviously, yes, your sleeved is even better, your bundles are even better, but just something interesting. I don't think that single packs are as bad as people make out. And it's a fun way to collect different sets. And generally, they'll go up in price just like the sealed will as well. Anyway, I've talked enough for today. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm actually feeling better now. I had a plague for the last week and I felt awful. I probably looked really rough in the last episode as well. The last episode was cut a little bit short. I'm sorry for that, but I was very ill. Feeling much better now and the sun is shining. Fantastic. Good vibes. Please make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Please do hit that like button to help support the channel. Really pushes my content out there further. If you really want to support the channel, there is the option to join the YouTube Join Club from my page. You get a few perks with that as well. It is a monthly fee and you can help support me as a creator. Anyway, hope you guys all have a wonderful day and peace.